Hello, happiness abounders, and welcome back. I am so excited for you to join me today in this episode, which is all about a few techniques, actually this theme week, all about a few techniques to build confidence in connection with setting your goals. For the last 2 weeks, we focused on several techniques around goal getting and goal setting. Today, I want to take it to that next level and talk about how using goals can build your confidence. So today, this week, but specifically today, I want to talk about the power of writing things down to build confidence. So if you recall episode 316, so about 10 episodes ago, I spoke all about this magic power of writing down your goals, where once you write it down, it almost feels like it's destined to come true, even if you're not going to be focusing on it as much as you would otherwise. I spoke about how in my own life, when I've written something down and not really focused on it and then seen it a few years later, I'm like, wow, that actually came true. That's really cool. And I didn't really do a lot of work for it. And then as we build upon that episode, we spoke about how to do the work to catalyst that process to get your goals faster with more focus and determination. So we spoke about that in episode 316. I want to talk about how writing it down can be very helpful for building your confidence. Now, at a baseline level, back in episode 316, I spoke about how I said I wanted a house, and I didn't really think about it, and I did a whole bunch of work in between, but then I can see that now and go, wow, I actually got the exact house that I had written down that I wanted. Now, that's a huge confidence boost. Right? There's something to be said about I wrote it down and I didn't even focus on it, and I worked hard and it came true. Like, that's a big boost, but that's a big boost over 4 years, right? So several years. So how do we write down our goals to build confidence? Well, a key component of that is getting organized. I'm going to say that again. Getting goals to build confidence has a key component of getting organized. So what happens is when we don't write it down, when we don't write down our goals, we keep them in our mind, and then it just gets jumbled with everyday life and everything else that's going on, and it gets kind of forgotten, confused, changed, and doesn't really go anywhere. But when you can write it down, suddenly it's in some way, shape, or form organized, which helps your brain hone in on it more and helps you build confidence because you feel organized. It's really funny. Have any of you guys like cleaned your room or cleaned your house or even done your dishes and laundry and you're like, yes, I am an adult now. I did my laundry, I cleaned my dishes, I cleaned my room. I feel so organized and accomplished. Same thing, right? Our brain likes to see things organized to help us feel accomplished and empowered. So when it comes to building your confidence, a way to do that is to write down your goals, because then your brain clicks into now we're organized mode. You feel accomplished, you build your confidence, and that magic power of goal getting starts to kick in. So it all relates, but in terms of building confidence, it's a huge factor in organizing so that you can build that confidence as you go instead of at the end when you've gotten your goal. You tracking with me so far? So why is being organized important beyond just what I just said? One, it sets expectations, right? As soon as you've written it out and you've organized these thoughts, it sets the expectation for your brain that we are actually going to do this. This isn't like everything else that's rolling around in the back of our head. And having that organization that sets the expectation of importance can build your confidence. Again, just like doing your dishes. Suddenly you feel proud and like you're adulting, because you are, and you've organized something and you've taken action. Key component there, you've taken action, you've organized something, and your brain clicks in and says, yes, this is important, it's not run of the mill, we can do this, which then in turn builds your confidence. It clears the brain for solving versus remembering. I touched on this slightly. When you have everything wrapped up in your brain, you're trying to remember everything. It's like having a to-do list, right? You're trying to remember your goals, you're trying to remember what you have on the calendar today, you're trying to remember pick up dog food, trying to remember X, Y, and Z, and you're trying to remember all of these things. The second you write it down, your brain shifts from remembering to solving. It's kind of like when you've had a to-do list in your head and it feels overwhelming, you don't want to do anything. But the second you write it down, it's something to solve and you want to check it off, right? So it sets your brain to solve versus remember, which when you can click your brain into solve mode, you're solving for the problems that are blocking your goal and you're building confidence along the way because you can build upon those solutions. Number 3, why does being organized, why does writing it down build this confidence? It's proven for your memory, right? Instead of having to really go beyond anything else, like you're building these memories of building your confidence, right? It's proven memory for you to build your confidence. So it's kind of like when I've mentioned daily success tracking. It's not necessarily because daily success tracking is something that you should do just for the heck of it. Sure, yeah, you can, but you do it to build that confidence because you're seeing every day that you have proven to yourself you've accomplished something. You're building that memory of confidence. And the last thing, and we're going to have a whole episode on this, is when you can write down your goals and be organized to build confidence, it opens up this pathway that's incredibly enlightening towards your self-talk. When things are rolling around in your brain, your thoughts around them roll around too. So it's much harder to pull out, here's the goal, here's the self-talk I have around that goal. It's harder to pull out. But when you can write it down and be organized about your goal, you can look at that, write it down and go, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds. And then your brain, your negative self-talk or your positive self-talk starts kicking in and it helps you identify it because it's not mulling all together in your brain. It's now organized. So you can see how this plays all together with goal getting, but also confidence building and confidence memory setting, if that makes sense. So how do you do this? You set a time. Set a time. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever you want. Like once a week, once a day, it's up to you, but set a designated time to write out your goals. Just in doing that, you will feel accomplished and you will be building your confidence levels. Create a place. It's really interesting how, and some of you may have experienced this, where if you're working like on the couch versus working at your desk, in which space do you feel more productive? Not which space are you multitasking, but which space do you feel more productive and actually accomplish more towards the work you're supposed to be doing? 9 times out of 10, it's at your desk because the desk is set up for you to be able to work more productively. You've set yourself up for success that way. Do the same thing with writing down your goals and building your confidence. Set a time and a place that enables you to really focus, write things down, and get organized. And the last thing is to plan for contingencies, right? One of the things that diminishes our confidence in ourselves so quickly is when we've set a goal and we're like, we're going to work out every single day. And then something happens, you've got to go to work earlier than you had expected, or there's a snowstorm or something, and so you now have to miss working out. But you've set this plan, and so you've missed a day and you beat yourself up about it because everything was going to be so perfect. Plan for, make contingencies, right? So if I have to leave if I have to leave home early to get to work and I work out in the mornings, that's okay to miss that, but I cannot miss more than 2 days in a row, right? You can set yourself up for contingency plans to give you that leeway without tearing down your confidence because you've planned for them. You have been organized, and that builds your confidence in a more progressive manner than just saying, I'm going to do this every single day and then not plan for contingencies and then beat yourself up because you missed a day. I hope this makes sense. I know I just threw a ton of information about being organized and writing things down at you, but I hope that you're tracking with me. I hope that I'm being clear because this can make all the difference in building your confidence. Something as simple as writing things down, setting a time and a place, and planning for contingencies. So that said, if you like this episode, be sure to share it. Tag me at happinessabound.com, happiness_abound on Instagram. And remember, you are capable of happiness abound.